I think I know everybody, but if I don't, I'm Brent Rice, and I'm honored to be here and welcome everyone, especially Terry's family, old friends, new friends, and Frankfurt office, everybody. What a great crowd. So I was going to say a few remarks, and I got a call from our partner, Mr. Frazier, and he said he couldn't make it this morning, so I guess I'm going to have to say a few more. But anyway, what a great day. I'm delighted to have Sarah. Everybody knows Sarah's Terry's daughter and sister Judy. Sarah's going to say a few remarks, and then we're going to unveil the W. Terry McBrayer portrait. And also, this is also the official opening of the W. Terry McBrayer room, and it's just terrific. Brian and others have done such a great job putting photos together, memorabilia, and it's going to be a real special place for this firm. So before I get into some of the prepared remarks that Jim and others collaborated on, and Brian did a terrific job, we're going to keep this brief. And so I was asked just to share a few funny stories. Everybody's got a great Terry story. I've got a lot because it goes back 44 years. First day I went to work for Terry, September 1, 1979. He said, pick me up at 4:30. Hell, I'd never been up at 4:30. And we had to go to Pikeville. It was during the governor's campaign. Drop in, get coffee made, hop in the car. Everybody knows where that curve in Chenaway is. And I mean, I wasn't really even awake. And so make a really bad turn, almost hit that tree. And he said, pull over, young man. I said, okay. He said, this may be the shortest job in history. So, he had great wit. I'll never forget it. And so his wit was just unbelievable, as everybody knows. But also, I'll give you another story about wit in a moment. But he was such a it's such great vision. I mean, when I look at all you guys from the Frankfurt office, I mean, when he started that with Governor Hunt in North Carolina, I mean, what great vision. Pick one firm in 50 states. They're involved in politics that are in the state capital, and they handpick those firms. And now it's grown to 40 countries too. I mean, he was a thinker. He thought ahead. But what a lot of people don't know is the tough times he had. 1979, and worked out pretty good. Look at the furnishings around here. But the first place was about 1,100 square feet, and he was deeply in debt after the governor's race. Jim Host, you know how that goes sometimes, and your friends abandon you, if you don't win. And so anyway, he lost the race in the last 2 weeks of the campaign. But looking back, and he would admit, it's the best thing that ever happened to him. And but anyway, starting out, you're deeply in debt from the campaign. A lot of people scattered. You don't hear from them anymore. So he says, here's what we're going to do, Brent. He says, you can play golf. I'm both fish and hunt. We're going to identify people that are, like us. He says, we're not going to get Keelan as a client. You're not going to get the university. We're going to go after our own folks. And that's what he did. But to even make matters a little worse, we opened the office, gets the telephone company to come in, and they screw up the number in the phone book. So nobody knew how to reach us. There wasn't cell phones. So anyway, Terry rolled his sleeves up, rest is history. He, got involved in every civic organization there are too many to name, but that's what he's instilled in everyone here. Get involved in the community, and you got to get back, and you got to work hard. That's what he did. So anyway, one other great story. So during the campaign, we're in Pike County. That was a very important county in that race. And I'll never forget this as long as I live. The superintendent of transportation there was obviously an important guy. They still are in most counties. So he wasn't for Terry. And so he pulled him aside, and he brought all the employees. It must have been 300 for like a barbecue or something. He said, look, you want to carry this county? He says, you don't have to talk about giving everybody a raise up here. He said, well, I'll be happy to, but I mean, I can't assure you of that. I said, I'm sure. I know y'all don't know enough. He says, well, you better do something creative. And the guy, he was a legend up there. I forgot his name, but he weighed about 375 pounds and he ran the county. So Terry, that great gravelly voice everybody can remember, he got up and he says, now, here's what I'm going to do for you all if you vote for me. He says, we're going to start pay in this county based upon how much you weigh. Everybody thought that was hilarious except one guy. One guy. And so, obviously, he didn't carry weight. But anyway, what great wit! But what a great individual, and we all know that. So, let me now share the remarks that Jim put together after collaborating with many of you, and I think this kind of tells it like it is. 60 years ago this year, Walter Terry McBrayer began his law practice in town of Greenup, Kentucky, in a one-room office above a grocery store. He began a legacy that continues today in the law firm and lobbying organization that bears his name. Those of us who knew Terry experienced the qualities that got us here today: tenacity, hard work, and drive. What Terry would call hustle, the Terry hustle, were some of the building blocks for this firm. He would talk about wearing a sharp suit, carrying a briefcase everywhere he went, even though sometimes the briefcase had nothing in it. But anyway, he ran for office initially as an excuse to meet people. It's the truth. In the community, spread the word about his law practice. Hustle is only half the story, though. Building relationships and taking an active role in a community that supports us are the most vital elements to long-term success that Terry taught all of us. He led through example, instilling in us the notion that you can't be a good law firm without being a good team, without being a good citizen and steward. Terry served his community through work with organizations too numerous to fully list, such as KET, Central Kentucky Blood Center, Central Kentucky Heart Association. He was chairman of what was then called the Chamber of Commerce, and his personal favorite organization, Salvation Army. Terry has many things in his life: small town attorney, 5-term state representative, party leader, lobbyist, husband, father, brother, friend. Today, we celebrate every facet of him and remember that we just didn't work with him. We loved him. From one attorney to carve out a practice in a small town, to 64 attorneys, 7 lobbyists in 3 cities representing thousands of clients. We've covered tremendous distance since that day in 1963. And the best is yet to come, all born from the legacy of Terry McBrayer, which is why we honor him today. Before we unveil this great portrait, I want to introduce Sarah, and she's going to say a few.
Thanks, Brent. I'm so excited to be here. It's so fun to see so many people and old friends, as Brent said, new friends and the family. Aunt Judy's here, my mom and my cousins. Dad started this firm on February 22nd, 1963. He was determined to make it a success. He fought hard. He kept a notebook of all his billings and all his expenses. And in fact, you're going to see that in the conference room. Sometimes he got paid with money. Sometimes he got paid with a chicken or country ham, and that worked just as well. I think one of his greatest accomplishments, I think, was watching this firm grow and be as successful as it is. I don't know how many times I'd introduce him to people in DC and he would be like, "Yeah, I have a law firm. I've got 37 lawyers working for me," and just as proud as he could be. Even when he was so sick, if we could get him to put his suit on and come to his happy place, which is the firm, you knew it was going to be a good day. So I don't think he necessarily would have asked for a portrait, but I think he would love knowing it's here. And I'm pretty sure anytime a client came in to see him, he would say, let's go check out the conference room. Thank you.
So right next to Judy Campbell, to your sister, would like to say a few words.
Well, I'm unprepared to speak this morning, but since I'm the oldest person in the building, I thought I'd take the opportunity to say thank you to all of you. You're what makes this firm successful. Terry set the foundation in 1960, 61, when he got out of the Army, came back to Greenup to set up his practice. And as Sarah said, a little one-room thing. My sister went to work for him. She had to go out in the hall and stand if a client came in and wanted to talk to him. He was so small and up over the grocery. But he walked right into that. Oscar Sammons had just become circuit judge, walked out of that office, left the furniture, left the law books, and you know what a treasure that is. The work that came out of that office had a lot to do with my sister. She was really smart and very clever. She did taxes. Then that person would come back with a boundary dispute, or they would come back with a divorce that they need work on. So that's how the foundation of the firm started. And as Sarah mentioned, he got paid with a chicken or a pig, which he turned down, but we didn't allow a pig. But he was a man about town. You could see that he had a vision, not only for his community, but for himself and his own future. And then he and Mary, Sarah, and John moved to Lexington, and he continued working through politics and through his friends and established this firm. But I think that you are the piece of a quilt that covers him because of your input in his life. And he did have a lot of input into our lives, that's for sure. But I wanted to thank you, and thank you for being a team member, a productive team member. And thank you all for coming.
Thank you. Thank you. Everyone is invited to visit the conference room. It's conference room 5 today. There's refreshments after the unveiling, and I think we've said enough. Let's see what this looks like. Ready? Thanks, everyone.
Who would the artist? There. Did you say that? We have some cards up here that have the portrait on it and some information about the artist on the back. So please help yourselves. Okay. Okay.